Hey, Facebook. Ray Edwards here with a live gathering. What do I call this? Q&A with Ray. I'm just going to hang out for about half an hour and answer questions. I got a few things I want to share. There is no call to action. There is no offer to be made. There's just Ray was kind of bored on Sunday afternoon and thought, what would I like to do? I like to hang out with my people. You, entrepreneurs, those who want to be, copywriters, those who want to be. You are my people. So here I am in my new office, which is in the same office building as we were in before, just better accommodations. So we're pretty happy about this whole arrangement. If you've got questions, pop those into the comments section below the screen. I'm just trying to figure out how to use this streaming software. Now that I've started using it in front of a live audience, I probably should know how to use it. So we'll give some time. It always takes time for people to show up because it's delayed on Facebook. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to see if I can figure some things out here, how to make some stuff happen. I'm actually just trying to figure out how to, if I want to add somebody in, can I do that? I don't think I can. Somebody knows if I can do this, then let me know. There's an option here to add Skype guests, but I don't know if that'll blow this thing up or not if I do that. So you can ask questions about, what can you ask questions about? You can ask questions about writing copy, sales copy for your business to sell your stuff. Hey, Rob Hughes, you're going to be in Franklin at the workshop. That's awesome, dude. I look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be the best event we've ever put on. I am so excited about this event because I've got so much we're putting into it. We're investing more in it in terms of people, in terms of money, in terms of planning. It's going to be fantastic, if I do say so myself. So you can ask questions about copywriting. You can ask questions about, if you're a copywriter wanting to find clients, you can ask about that. If you are an entrepreneur who wants to hire a copywriter, you want to know how you do that without getting ripped off, what are some things to look for? Then we can talk about that. Or if you just want to talk about online business, I know a thing or two about product launches and general online business, personal brand building. These are things that are in my wheelhouse. You can ask me anything. If I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you. And I'll probably be able to tell you who does have the answer. So looking forward to questions to come in. I've got a few things I want to share, which I will do momentarily. This is the part of the Facebook Live thing where you're really vamping. And vamping comes from show business. You're vamping when you're stalling for time on stage for like one of the key players to show up for the performance. And in this case, the key player is you. Right now it's just me and Rob Hughes. So Rob, if you got any questions, fire away, dude, because you have the floor right now. So I'm drinking mushroom coffee from Four Sigmatic. It's got, it doesn't taste like mushrooms, and it's not magic mushrooms like they have in Denver now. It's got lion's mane and chaga in it. And it's got about half the caffeine of a regular cup of coffee, but I would say about 3 times the kick intellectually, the cognitive kick, which is what I drink it for. And it tastes pretty darn good. It tastes better than Keurig coffee, I can tell you that. And it's instant. If you can believe that, it's instant. Instant coffee. Wonders never cease. So Rob says, let me see, I got to move this little window out of my way. Rob says, what's your perspective on Goldilocks pricing for financial service businesses? So I think what you mean by that is just right pricing, not too high, not too low. You know, pricing for clients always depends on, from their standpoint, it always depends on the revenue. You could be asking $10,000 for writing copy for a client, but if they expect to make $10 million, you're actually too cheap for them. They're going to be looking at your pricing saying, what's wrong with this deal? Because this person is too cheap. If on the other hand, their goal is to make $25,000 and you're asking $10,000, you're way out of their league. So first thing it depends on is their revenue. But I teach my students a formula for calculating their rates, which in turn tells them who their clients need to be. And it goes something like this. I won't go into the whole riff, but I'll explain to you how to do it. First, think about what you want your work week to look like. Your ideal work week. Do you want to work 20 hours a week? Do you want to work 50 hours a week? 100? Let's say you want to work 30 hours a week and you want to make, so that's 120 hours per month, and you want to make $12,000 per month. So that's pretty simple. I think that's $100 an hour. Am I right? I should never do math without a calculator in front of me. So let's see, 120 times 100 equals 12,000. So you've got to make $100 an hour to make your $12,000 a month if you're only working 30 hours a week. So you don't tell your clients this. You don't go to your clients and say, I make $100 an hour. Never price a job by the hour, nor by the page, nor by the word. You do it by the project. But you need to know how long the project is going to take you to complete. You need to be able to estimate it. Hey, Lori, good to see you. Again, you're here again. You get the gold star this week. You definitely win the prize for showing up for all the things. So the trick in this whole formula is knowing how long it takes you to do the work. Because if you miscalculate, you could either overcharge your client or undercharge them. If you overcharge them, but they've agreed to it and it's worth it to them, well, that's okay. If you undercharge, you suffer the consequences because it may take you twice as long if you misestimate how long it's going to take you to do the work. So if you want to make $12,000 a month, would be $144,000 a year, which for a lot of folks would be good income. But let's say you want to make $1.44 million per year. So that means you've got to make $1,000 an hour if you're working 30 hours a week. So you have to be scrupulously ruthless about your time. If you know it's worth $100 an hour or $1,000 an hour. And so now if you want to make $1.44 million and you only want to work 30 hours a week, you've got to charge $1,000 an hour, and it's going to take you, let's say, 20 hours to do the project. That's $20,000 your fee has to be. So generally, I think that your client needs to be looking toward minimum 10 times the revenue that they're paying you. So they need to be looking at $200,000 profit on their deal. And again, they may not be estimating correctly. And that's the bottom, that's the lowest it could be. You'd be better off if it were 20 times the revenue, because that puts you in the 5% of revenue range. And for most people, it's hard to give a blanket answer because it depends so much on margin. I mean, if they're selling information and they've got a 50% margin, they can afford to pay you a lot, which is why a lot of people who write for info marketers or online teachers, digital course makers, can make a lot of money. But if they're selling something they have to ship in the mail and it's heavy or expensive to make and they've got a razor thin margin, they can't pay you that big amount of money. Hi, Michael. Thank you very much for saying this is nice. I'm trying to make it nice. Rob says, another question. Talk to us about building your team at varying stages of growth. When do you know the right role to bring on? Well, you've got to prioritize what needs to be done in the company, right? Like, if you're selling a lot of stuff, a lot of product, for instance, if you're a digital course maker and you've got hundreds or thousands of students, you need customer support. You need people who can interact with your customers and keep them happy. So that would be the first person to bring on. If you're able to do that, you've already got somebody doing that, and then you've got all these transactions happening, you're going to need accounting help. Typically, I think the order goes something like this: customer service, accounting, legal, executive assistant, VA, virtual assistant. And then from there, you may flesh out other roles. A lot of this stuff can be done by contractors. Graphic design, web design, coding, shopping cart stuff, email delivery system stuff can all be outsourced to contractors. And some of it's on a per project basis. So you may not need them all the time. But as you scale up, you do need some full-time people, I think. So we have contractors we work with. We also have full-time employees. They're actual employees of our company. But that carries with it its own burdens. Because suddenly you realize, well, these people are counting on me for their family's income. That's different than how I started this business out when I was just a lone wolf doing my own thing. I could fold it up whenever I wanted to. And you can keep your business that way and get to a certain level. I think you can probably get to $1 million with a pretty skinny team, like a couple of virtual assistants. It would be tough, but you could do it. After that, I think you need some help on a full-time basis, at least a couple of people. It depends on you and on your business and what you need help with. So every situation is a little different, but that's what I think you need to do. So if you're just joining us, questions you can ask are about copywriting, about hiring a copywriter, about getting hired as a copywriter, about product launches, online marketing, personal brand building, podcasting. I've been podcasting now for 391 weeks in a row. How many years is that? 391 divided by 52. Good Lord, is that true? 391 divided by 52 weeks. 7.5 years we've run a podcast every week without fail. Dang. That's good. All right, so while I'm waiting for more questions to come in, you know what I should do? Hang on a second. It's comedic trying to watch me type or watching me try to type. Questions for free. No pitch. No CTA. Just hanging with Uncle Ray. I should have done this before we started. I told you at the beginning, if you were here, I'm new to this. So what I'm doing is sharing this to my timeline on my personal profile. All right. Lori says, what's your favorite way to prospect for clients? I know you love live events, and you might answer that, but if so, what is your second favorite way? Well, live events, Lori, as you know, is my first answer. It's my favorite way to do it. My second way to prospect for clients is through referrals. And that can either be through current clients or just people that you know who respect you and have an idea about your work ethic and your character. So that's my second favorite way. And then that gets a little sketchy for some people, because how do you ask for referrals? There's a way to do it that feels very pushy and salesy and weird, and you don't want to do that. What I like to do if I'm going to ask for referrals is find somebody that I have worked with and just talk to them and ask them, talk to me about the experience you had working with me, with my company. Like right now, I'm not writing copy for clients myself, but I have an agency now called Inklings LLC that does write copy for clients. And we're taking on primarily product launch customers, people who are doing Jeff Walker's PLF system and they want help writing that copy because it's a lot of copy. And so my company does it. And the way we prospect for that is we go to live events, of course, and then I talk to people that I have worked with and I just say, look, did you find value in working with me? What was the value? What kind of result did we get? How did you feel about it? How did you feel about the experience of working together? Would you know of anybody who could use help in that kind of area, some relief in the copywriting game when it comes to doing their product launch? And so usually those people, I'm close enough with them, they'll say, well, yeah, my buddy Rob is doing a launch. He could probably use some help, or at least could he just talk to you? And so I'll say, yes, of course. Or I'll ask, can I get a conversation with him? I'm not going to put a sales pitch on him, but I'll talk to him and see if I can help him. And those kind of conversations, if you pursue them, sometimes you have to go 3 or 4 levels deep like that. But eventually you end up hitting somebody who says, yes, I could use some help. Let's work something out. And so the beauty with our agency is it's a lot less expensive than it is working with me. If you hire Inklings LLC, you don't get me. I'm there. I'm looking over the shoulders of the copywriters, making sure everything's in order. They're using my system. They're all my certified copywriters. You have to be, before you do any writing for us, you have to be certified through our certification program, which is an investment in itself. So that's a source of revenue for us as well. And, but if you want me, then it's a lot extra. And so I don't end up doing a lot of work because I price myself purposely out of that game. And if somebody can afford what I ask for personal work, then I'll consider it if it's interesting and I like them. You're welcome, Lori. That is my second favorite way. You know, as a writer trying to make money, there are really three big steps you have to take. The first step is to know what's the right niche for you to write in that's going to pay the best. And the broad answer to that question is it's writing direct response sales copy for online marketers. And that could be online marketers of lots of things: consulting, coaching, digital course stuff, online summits, events, information or educational products. Could be lots of different things, but it's online sales copy. And I think to narrow that down even further, the big money for copywriters now is in writing product launch copy for people who've been trained by Jeff Walker in the product launch formula method, because those products normally have a few things in common. They are high margin, they are high volume, they have low cost of production, and there's enough markup they can afford you, and they're going to make enough revenue they can afford to pay you well. So that's all reasons why that's a very lucrative market. So you choose the niche or market, then you get good at writing the copy. And you do that by writing. How do you learn to write good copy? You learn it by writing lots of bad copy first. And you can get some coaching from somebody who knows what they're talking about. If that's something you're able to do, then I recommend it. I did it. That's how I sped up my progress. And of course, I mean, we offer coaching, but I'm not making calls to action here. I'm just sharing with you how this works. There's plenty of other people you could work with as a coach, not just me. I mean, there's Kevin Rogers, there's John Carlton, there's, I think Dan Kennedy's still doing some coaching. There's lots of people you can work with. So you just need to pick who resonates with you. And then the third thing is get clients. So that's the one where people get hung up, is how do I get clients? We've been talking about that. And that's usually the first thing people want to talk about. And really the first thing we need to talk about is picking your niche and then getting good at writing the copy, getting good at delivering the goods. Those are the first two things. Then the third thing is getting clients. And we've talked about some ways to do that. So I won't belabor that point. If you've got questions, if you just come on board, or even if you're watching this later, after the live part is over and you're watching the recording, you can still ask questions. I'll come back and answer them. I'll check back here later today. I'm expecting a phone call, so I'm watching the time very carefully. Oh, I need to hang on. I'm capturing this on 2 different cameras, and that camera over yonder shuts down every 30 minutes. Why? I don't know why. Alicia Hickman, as I live and breathe. Hello, girl. Where are you these days? I've kind of lost track of you. I'm sorry. Looking lovely as ever. I hope you and your family are well. Oh, you're in Boise. Love that place. What a great city. Hope you're loving it there. It's a fun, fun town. Just looking to see if there's other questions. So, a lot of people want to know, is it possible to still make a living as a copywriter, or is the market saturated? Because it seems like there's so many people hanging out their shingle online or saying they're copywriters. It says in their profile on Instagram they're a copywriter, on Facebook or whatever. Hard to sort out the real deal from the posers. The good news is we're nowhere near saturated. If you want to be a writer and make money, I think copywriting is the best way to do it, bar none, because it's low risk. It doesn't cost very much to get into the game. I mean, the biggest expense you could maybe look at having is getting some mentoring. I have a mentoring program, a couple different programs that I charge pretty substantial fees for. There are other people who have the same thing, same kind of thing, not the same thing, but their brand of that sort of thing. I've named some of those names already. Yes, I got my tribe box, Lori. Gotcha. Look, I love this. So this is from Stu McLaren's tribe course. Stu is my buddy. We've known each other for a long time. And when you enroll in his course, you get a box in the mail. And I love this. That's Stu. Well, hello there. Yes, that's awesome. So the market is nowhere near saturated. I could train 10,000 copywriters this month and release all of them on the market, and they could all be excellent copywriters, and that still would not even put a dent in the need for good copywriters. You have no idea how much of a need there is for copywriters. This is a great field to get into. And it's a great field to freelance in because you can work from anywhere. You really only need a laptop and an internet connection, or maybe just a tablet. You could do it with a iPad, iPad with a keyboard. You could do it the Gary Halbert way and do it with a legal pad and a pen. But then you got to hire somebody to type it out for you. But you don't need a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. You need the chops. You need the skills. Do we have mentoring? Yes, we do. I've got the certification program that we offer, and then I've got a new group. I said I wasn't going to make any calls to action, so I probably shouldn't talk about that here. Well, I'm not making a call to action, so I haven't really opened this up yet. It's tentatively called Mentored to $1 Million. I'm looking for 12 copywriters that I can work closely with for a year with the goal of getting them to $1 million in revenue. Not $1 million in sales. Now, this is tricky because some people say they're $1 million copywriter, and what they mean is their copy has sold $1 million worth of product. And that's a big deal. I'm not running that down. But when I say $1 million copywriter, I mean you as the copywriter have earned $1 million. So I'm going to be looking for 12. I don't have any of them yet. I haven't opened it yet. We're looking for 12 people who want to be mentored to $1 million in 12 months. And I can't guarantee that would happen, but I can guarantee that I'm going to work with those people to show them everything I know. I sound like I'm pitching now, and I'm not, so I'll just drop it. But we got a couple of mentoring programs. There are other people who have mentoring and coaching programs. Kira Hug is somebody who's in one of my mastermind groups. She has a great copywriting community, mentoring. It's kind of mentoring. I would say it is. I don't know if she'd call it that. Kevin Rogers, who I've already mentioned, has Copy Chief. Let me see. So yeah, you got to check out Kira's website. It's kirahug.com. I'll just put this in the comments. Did that work? I think so. She's got a great website. I mean, the photos and the copy on this website is just off the charts, funny and very reflective of her personality. Okay, I got to stop reading Kira's site and pay attention to what I'm doing. Oh, glory be. So hit me up with some questions, or I'm going to wrap this one up. This is the first one of these I've done. I didn't do any prior announcement or email about it. So the people who showed up are the people who should have showed up. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here. And if you have questions about online marketing, about product launches, about copywriting, about getting paid as a copywriter, about getting copy written for your own company, whatever, I'll answer the questions for you. Yeah, Lori, I mean, isn't her site just fantastic? It makes me want to redo my site. But not like hers, because hers is pretty girly. In a way. I don't mean that in an insulting way. I just mean it wouldn't work for me. Or who knows, maybe it would. Maybe I need a yellow leather coat. And plaid pink pants. It's looking better to me all the time. Maybe I should try it. Maybe not. I think I'm going to stick with black jeans. I will stop wearing black when they make a darker color. Julie says, reading how to write copy that sells now, soaking everything up. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for reading the book. I appreciate that. That is my book. I thought I had some here, but I don't have them right behind me. What about books? What books are y'all reading? I've got a couple of new books I just picked up. Just a little light reading. Ray Dalio's Principles. Ray Dalio is one of the great investors and entrepreneurs of our time. In 1975, he founded Bridgewater Associates out of his 2-bedroom apartment and built it over 40 years into the largest hedge fund in the world and the 5th most important private company in the U.S., according to Fortune. He's a big deal. His book is endorsed by Bill Gates and Tony Robbins. And it's not light reading. So to go along with that, I got a little light reading. Jocko Willink, Discipline Equals Freedom. Oh, my book's damaged. That makes me sad. The thing about this book is I don't know how I'm going to highlight it because it's black paper with white type. I don't know how you deal with that. So I'm going to be reading those books. And I think I'm going to start doing book summaries. I know what I can show you guys. I can show you, if I can figure out how to do the screen share thing, I can show you how I've set up my new writing tool, which is Ulysses. Let's see. If I go to Ecamm Live, I go to Source and Share Screen, Show Primary Display, Crop to Fill. Yeah, that works. So this is a text editing program called Ulysses. And I've got it organized here. These are called groups. And they're groups of documents, or as Ulysses calls them, sheets. So like courses in development. Inside that group, I've got 2 subgroups. One of them is Profitable Copywriting Business, which is a course I'm working on right now. And if I go into Profitable Copywriting Business, you can see I've got the modules laid out, outlined. So I've got my place for YouTube videos, for the podcast, for the Ray Everett Show. I've just started using it, so I'm not really populated out with all the different categories. But one category that I have here is book notes. And this is where I'm going to start writing up my my notes on books and sharing them. If you tell me, do you think that would be interesting if I shared my book notes? Maybe not. Maybe nobody's interested. That's very possible. So there. Now I've accomplished something. That was the first screen share I've ever done using this software. Lori says, right now I'm reading several. The Miracle Equation, Over Deliver by Brian Kurtz. Awesome book. Launched by Jeff Walker. Breakthrough Advertising, The Copywriter's Handbook by Bob Bly. And I have Atomic Habits and want to start it, but obviously shouldn't yet. Oh, Lori, I feel you. Yeah, I have about 8 books that I've started, and I'm sort of bouncing between them. I started finishing them. I finished Tony Robbins' Unshakable book yesterday, and I will have finished. What am I listening to right now on Audible? The Universal Christ by Richard Rohr. Next up, I think, is Ryan Holiday, The Perennial Seller, which I've read before, but I'm rereading. I'm doing some rereading of books. And then I'm diving into Ray Dalio's book immediately and Jocko Willink. I think I'm going to make those my morning routine readings for a while. I'll probably spend like 20 minutes in each morning. Something like that. So we've been at this now for half an hour. I think I'm going to wrap it up. You guys let me know. And if you're watching the recording, hi, Mandy. If you're watching the recording, be sure and put your questions and your comments in as well, because I'm just doing this as a test to see, is this helpful? Is it useful to you as my community? If it is, what can I do to make it better? What would make it more useful to you? And if you want, I'll do more of them. And if it doesn't make any difference, then I won't. And my feelings aren't hurt either way. I'm not looking for you to stroke my ego. I'm just looking for how can I help the people who you pay me the most valuable currency you could possibly pay me when you give me your attention, especially on a Sunday afternoon on a holiday weekend. If you're here paying attention to what I have to say, then I'm deeply honored and touched by that and want to be a good steward of it and just want to know that I'm doing the right thing. So that's the kind of feedback I'm looking for. Lori says, I have Unshakable too. Haven't read it through it yet. I almost got all the way through Money Masters the Game twice. Yeah, that's a behemoth. It's like 700 pages long. But that's next on my money books list. That's a conversation we should have in the future. Money and copywriters, because copywriters don't seem to be able to keep money. They seem to be able to make it. They just don't seem to be able to keep it. I would like to change that. So my Mentored to a Million group, one of the things we're going to work on is not just making $1 million, but keeping as much of it as possible. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So I'll address one more thing before I go, and that is this whole business of, are you a workaholic because you're working on a Sunday? No. I love what I do. And I have boundaries and priorities for family time. And like I spent the morning with my wife. We had a probably 2-hour conversation this morning talking about our plans for life as we go forward, thinking about things like our next house and where we want to live and investments we want to make. And we did some driving around. I mean, we had good quality time together. And then I think she was ready to take a nap. So I decided to come to the office and hang out and do this because it seemed like fun to me. So I think you're blessed in life when the work you do is indistinguishable from just having fun. And you can actually make a living doing that. That's a truly blessed place to be. I mean, I did a consult today earlier. I wouldn't have officially called it that, but a friend of mine called about a book that a mutual friend of ours has written and wanted me to take a look at it and give some advice about what to do with it. And so we talked for a good probably 40 minutes about that. And then we're going to have a meeting with the mutual friend later this week and see where that goes. I just love the fact that God has given me the grace of the gifts that he's granted me and that I have the privilege of helping people and getting paid for it. I mean, how lucky are we? So lucky. Lou, thank you so much. Thanks for listening to the podcast. It's great to see you too. I'm hearing from people I never heard from before. This is awesome. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm pretty sure, unless you guys tell me that sucked. Don't ever do that again. If you tell me that, then I won't do it. That's awesome. Thank you, Lou. Anybody watching this recording later, make sure you put your comments, your thoughts, your questions in here. I'll look at those. I'll answer every one of them as God enables me to. And we'll do this again sometime soon. Maybe sooner than you wish. Julie, copyright critique showing examples of good versus bad for future episode. Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. That would be fun. I'm going to write that down. That's how I don't forget things. Copy critique for Facebook Lives. For sure. Does not suck, says Lou. Do it again. All right, my friend, I will. Lou has declared it. So it has been written, so shall it be done. Ben, would you mentor brand new writers or is it more for established writers? It depends on the person, Ben. If you really are interested in that, send me a private message with a phone number and I'll reach out to you and we'll see if there's a fit or not. I am not one of these salesy, get you on the phone and hammer you into the ground guys. I just honestly will talk to you about what you need. And if it's something that works for you, then we can make it work. And if not, I'll point you in the right direction. There's other people that I've already named that could possibly help you as well. I'd be happy to have a convo with you if you want to just send me a private message on the Facebooks. I actually check those. Lou says, for the record, I enjoy the podcast in all the varied formats you do it, with, without co-host, solo, whatever value your input in my life. Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to bring the co-host back. We've been talking about how to do it. Just because you brought that up, I will mention that I had co-hosts come on, and we just blew up the format and did something totally different, and a lot of people loved it, and a lot of people hated it. It was kind of polarizing, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. We're going to bring my co-hosts back, but we're going to do it in a way that's kind of I think a healthy blend of both the old and the new. I think that'll be good. Lowell says, hi, Ray. Loved your content. I'm aspiring to become a copywriter. Greetings from Philippines. Greetings to you in the Philippines. I have friends down in the Philippines right now. So if you run into my friend Michelle Upmeyer, tell her I said hello. How weird would that be if you ran into her? It wouldn't be weird. It'd just be how things work in my world. And in your world too, I bet. Okay. It's time for me to go. I'll be back. We'll do this again. Well, I have one more question. Let me just ask this kind of as a poll question. You can just put your answers in the comments section. Would you, if I do this on a continuing basis, would you prefer to do it at a regular time? Like every Friday at 5 or something like that? Lou says, I appreciate your attitude towards your diagnosis. For those of you who don't know, I have Parkinson's disease. My father, 70 years old, has multiple system atrophy and is not fighting. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a hard one. It's hard. So I get it. I understand you want him to fight. Regular time would be helpful to you. Okay. So we'll consider that. Cool. We may be onto something here, friends. We could be starting something. I think we are. I enjoy this way too much. This has been way too much fun already. Too much fun. Ain't no such thing. All right. Well, be blessed. Daniel Bradshaw. Regular time would be great. Just hopped on, saw this, and sad I missed it. Well, the good news is, Daniel, the recording will be posted. The recording will be posted. The recording will be posted, and you can come back and watch it. It'll post in just a few minutes as soon as it finishes processing, and you can catch up on all the stuff and answer questions or ask questions. I'll be checking back on here. It's one of the things I love about Facebook Live. And we're going to do it at a regular time. I have decided it. And it's going to be fun. This is a new thing. This is the new thing with Ray Edwards. It will be post. Oh. So, may you prosper in all things, health, wealth, and wisdom. Go out there this week and live your most prosperous life. Till the next time, I love you very much. And as my friend Michael Port would say, not in a weird way.